Passport bros, your forefather is going down. Okay, this 58-year-old man decided to go to the Philippines and get himself, I'm saying, a younger woman, because supposedly these older white men want to have companionship and someone to have a family. Now, this 58-year-old man got married to a 28-year-old Filipino woman. He's older than both of her parents, right?
I recently came across a TikTok video made by someone who goes by the handle Chad to Dad. Now, the name itself instantly caught my attention for many reasons. The term Chad has always been specifically a connotation that is often associated with someone who is arrogant, self-assured, to the point of almost being narcissist, and believes he can actually attract women based on his looks or status. Now, the stereotype of Chad is often a man who lives life as if he is a perpetual heartthrob or a stud, someone who plays the field without any consequences. This is the type of man that you get those chilling phone calls from, as we saw that viral video, like, I'm a catch. I'm going to give you till, the end of the day to call me back. That's a Chad. It feels a little bit ironic, especially when the man in question doesn't quite fit the image, at least not by any conventional standards. The person behind this handle, as I saw in the video, seems to embody more of a dad bod than the stereotypical muscular Chad some would expect. But let's go beyond the superficial choice of his handle. There's something deeper here that deserves discussion. His video brings up a mindset I find concerning nowadays, something that has become more pervasive, especially among certain demographic here in the United States of America. Now, the passport bro, and we've all heard this term, right? The passport bro mentality, which he briefly touches on, is an idea that many men disillusioned with the dating culture here in the US believe that they can find a more traditional submissive partner overseas. This is often from countries with less access to Western media and societal influence. The fantasy is often an idealized life with a partner who will cook, clean, and serve without any of the complexities of modern relationships. Now, unfortunately, this can lead many men down a dangerous and unrealistic path. The underlying issue here is the perception that women outside of Western cultures will somehow remain immune to the societal changes and expectations that have evolved in places like America. The idea that a woman who doesn't have access to Western media, pop culture, and social influences might remain untainted by what some men view as the entitled, independent, or even combative nature of women in the West. It's naive and reductive in belief. What these men fail to understand is that despite geographic distance, the internet has brought the world closer together in ways that make such fantasies increasingly. Let's just face it, women from all over the world are aware of Western ideals, lifestyles, and expectations. They are not ignorant or naive, and they are not merely passive partners. Take, for example, the scenario in this video. A man, he looks older, probably 60, who's married a woman from another country is expecting her to play a traditional role as a wife and mother, only to find that after 2 years of waiting for her citizenship, she left him at the most painful moments of his life, after a funeral.
Well, it didn't take long. It only took 2 years, literally to the day, December 27th, for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized, everything about me and what I provide. And
Into America, they got the bumping like this because they got 2 kids under the age of 2, right? She just became Americanized. She just got her green card. So as they flow for first class to his mother's funeral that he paid for and everything, she passes to him a message basically saying, "Hey, his mother's funeral, I'm not gonna be with you no more." They separate. He comes back to his 3-level home, big home or whatever, and he spent Christmas by himself. They opened all the gifts that he bought with his money and everything. Now she went out. This is the perfect example of when the passport brothers saying, "Oh, no, we're going out there for wives and yada, yada, yada." No. A 58-year-old man marrying a 28-year-old woman is predatory.
The notion that these women will remain compliant in the way that these men envision is simply unrealistic. As much men might want to believe that their age and wealth will secure them a devoted partner, relationships are not about that. They're much more deeper than that, much more than financial stability or external status. So this leads me to another point that's often overlooked in discussions about Chad figures and the allure of this passport bro lifestyle. It's this myth that men improve with age. As a woman myself who has dated men of a particular age, older men when I was younger, and also gone out with dates, guys, not dated as in slept around, because that's not my shtick. I took interest in all kinds of men because, you know, you want to see if there's something better out there. And sometimes I didn't want to alienate older men just for fear of like, oh my God, it's going to look like I'm a sugar baby. Sometimes these guys were engaging. I've dated investment bankers and, you know, real estate developers and people like that. They're intelligent, they're smart, but they're boring when it comes to, you know, not just the bedroom, but they're boring when it comes to entertainment, like dancing, engaging with me, doing things that require more stamina. Obviously, I'm a older woman now, and I look at that and I think back at that, and I'm like, what was I even doing, even thinking of dating somebody that old? When I have anything, I'm not going to have that kind of engaging lifestyle. It'll just be that they could provide for me. Do I really want that? She's young. She is extremely young and full of life and stamina. Went to her profile and there's a clip of him just laying on the bed as the children are bouncing up and down around him. And I'm thinking, that's exactly why us women need men that are not too much older than us. I would say good 4 to 5 years is a good age gap because men do develop, in my opinion, and this is just an opinion, they develop mentally a little bit slower than us, like trying to make theirs. That as men grow older, they become more refined, more experienced, and more desirable. When in reality, though, what tends to improve is their financial situation, not their personality or relationship skills, right? Many men in their middle years, especially those who see themselves as rich, you know, successful, they often fail to acknowledge that with age, what they bring to a relationship may become increasingly shallow. So they may become boring in the sense that they have nothing to offer emotionally, intellectually, or romantically. And many younger women, disillusioned by these men's self-absorbed egos, may often seek fulfillment elsewhere. What does that look like at the end of the day? Pursuing a relationship based solely on superficial factors, be it wealth, age, or power, will often leave one feeling lonely and unfulfilled. It's also a distinct, almost tragic irony in the need for some men to share their personal lives publicly, especially on platforms like TikTok or YouTube. If a man truly had his life together, and I say this in the nicest way, if he were genuinely content and secure in his relationships, would he feel the need to broadcast every intimate detail about his relationship online? The truth is, many of these men, in their desperation to appear successful or attractive, overlook what truly matters in a healthy, lasting relationship. The successful, powerful men, the ones we see in long-standing relationships with stable partners, don't need to flaunt their lives to prove their worth. Think of figures like even Donald Trump, for example. He still maintains amicable relationships with even his ex-wives. Even up to Ivana Trump's death, she still was very supportive of Donald Trump. You could look at actors like Bruce Willis, how he still has Demi Moore by his bedside with mutual respect for one another. It's also nice to see her take, and this was her response to what, you know, he said or did to her in the relationship.
I'm fully American.
I think the word Americanized has nothing to do with someone who is disrespectful, especially to your people. Let's say disrespected my parents, screaming, snatching some things verbally and physically. So I am thinking that time, you are freely disrespecting me and abusing me. I think that's enough. You can do it. You can do it 24/7 to me. You can do it anytime. But to the point that you're going to be disrespecting my people, especially my parents, I think that's what, you know, draw the line. I think that's when the time that I said I want to separate with it. I've dealt a lot with him for the last 2 years that I am here.
We got back from Orlando to St. Simons, Georgia. I was greeted with the announcement from Jan that she wanted a separation.
For the last 2 years, I am standing up for myself. I know that I'm so fed up, I'm so done, and he's not going to change. All I know is if I didn't stop or I didn't make a move, it's going to be a normal. He's going to disrespect me, he's going to disrespect my people, he's going to disrespect anyone. Claims that I hated what he provides. As far as I remember, I'm always grateful for him. I never criticizes him. It's always praising, even though there's something going on inside our house. I think my children, we have kids, you know.
She seemed like she had had enough. Will the tides turn? Will they get back together? We don't know. To put all of this information out there, it's a lot going on here. Women's reasons for marrying foreign men are complex, right? They're diverse. But while the decision to marry someone outside of one's culture can be motivated by a mix of factors, including dissatisfaction overall with your local dating norms, which is something I found when I was living in Belize was that I just personally did not want to marry somebody that was from my gene pool. I felt like I would be running into a cousin. Some of these people would be related to me in some way. To worry now, because the world is becoming so global, we don't need to worry about that as much as women. We know that there's people from all over the world. As we become more global, I find that these factors of having to have somebody from overseas is going to diminish. Now, women from countries where gender inequality or sexism is prevalent may be attracted to a foreign man who appears to be more progressive. But that's not usually the case with passport bros. They're not looking for an egalitarian relationship. They're looking for an opportunity, a predatory opportunity, to have these women who will be subservient to them and do what they want. And these women are looking at this as an economic opportunity. And it's not really discussed in a way that people understand. A lot of these women, they come from developing countries where local men might not have the same income opportunities, even income potential as American or European men. So that economic appeal of marrying someone from a wealthier country can sometimes be a motivator. It can be a good move for an upward mobility, right? But so men out there in the dating world, as we move forward, it's important to understand that relationships, whether international or domestic here at home in the United States, they cannot thrive on fantasies or stereotypes. True fulfillment in a relationship comes from building deep, meaningful connections with others, and regardless of their background, if men, particularly those who buy into this Chad or passport bro mentality, are looking for a partner, they must be prepared to meet women as equals, understanding that the pursuit of love and companionship is never a transaction, but a journey of shared values and growth. If you enjoyed this content today, or you just like these type of conversations, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Let's make 2025 a great year together. Bro, I do respond to as many comments as possible. And remember, as always, think for yourself and have a great day.